Welcome, everybody, to the Chinchilla Pickin' Podcast. It is August the 17th, 2025 at 4:04 p.m. As always, we hope to be entertaining, educational, and uplifting because we want everyone to make money. My name is David Underwood, and I'm joined by the one and only Baron of Bonds himself, Brandon Beaver. Brandon, how are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing fabulous. I have a good friend of mine. I've known him for 17 years and he just never answers his text messages. Never.
I didn't even know you texted me. Let me show you something for all of anybody who could see on YouTube here. I don't know how to not share screen like this. 142 on red.
And you see all my send its. Started writing it backwards because I'm like, he's not getting this. Whatever. Uh See, when you've known somebody that long, I feel like that, we're just you just kind of grandfathered in and we're stuck for the rest of our
Right.
lives. I can't just not be friends with you now. It's no.
At least I read your text just now.
Eventually,
There's
yes.
142 other text messages in there from other people. I don't know what they are.
Versus my notifications are at zero. That's two different people. Two different people. Brandon is notifications. I'm
It
like,
was an
no, I gotta
emergency.
read
They'd
it.
call
I
me.
gotta read it.
If it was an emergency, they'd call me. I wouldn't answer. They'd leave a voicemail.
You hope. You hope. Man. What's going on, man? What's new in the world?
A lot. I mean, had the summit with Trump and Putin.
Right?
I don't know why people care about this as investors unless you're an oil investor.
I actually have an article about it.
Okay, cool.
And yes, it has to do with oil. So we'll mention that. But yeah, and then Zelensky and that team he'll meet in DC this week. So yeah, hopefully trying to bring those two together for peace. I don't think it's gonna work. Putin wants part of Ukraine, and Zelensky's like, we're not giving up our land. So,
Right.
which I completely understand that from Zelensky's point of view.
Oh,
Some
not to
people
get too
don't,
much
but
into
I do.
politics, but that's the Donbar province, if I'm
Well,
incorrect.
it's not even that. It's Crimea. It's Donbas. It's all of it. If I
Yeah.
was a Ukrainian, if you were a Ukrainian, Brandon, if someone came into Ohio and invaded Ohio, and they said we're
Yeah.
not leaving, we'll make peace if you give us part of Ohio.
So they had
Could you?
elections. They had
Could you?
elections. They had elections, and from what I've heard, the people of those areas actually voted to become part of Russia.
Yeah, I mean, but do we
Yeah.
trust those elections because they were held in time of war with the Russian military right there? And I mean, it's hard to
Yeah.
agree with. I mean, it
I agree.
is.
I get it.
It
I get it.
is. It's like I want to believe that that's the truth. I want to,
Right.
so that there could be peace because I don't like the what's going on. But you have to question it when you have the military right there with guns and tanks and missiles pointed at everything and everybody, and they're saying you need to vote, and you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely suspicious. So,
Okay.
anyways,
I know.
besides that, heat wave still continue, but it's August. People are saying heat wave. I'm like, it's August. I've lived in Cincinnati now a long time, and every
It's
year in August in Cincinnati we have 100-degree weather, and we haven't had any.
it's
So
been
it's actually
worse.
cooler.
It's been worse in the past. Absolutely. The humidity here still sucks. You walk out in 85-degree weather and you don't think that's going to be that bad, and then the humidity hits you, and it's just like the air is sweat here sometimes, which I
Sometimes.
hate. And when that makes the mosquitoes go nuts too, which is also terrible. But
Yes.
so
And
it's not a dry heat, but it's
we still get 90s in September,
yeah,
sometimes 100 in
it
September. So we still got one more hot month. People like relax.
it's
Enjoy
been
it.
worse. It's been worse in the past, for
I'm like,
sure.
enjoy the outside. Go for a run. Go kayaking. Go outside. Enjoy. Do something. enjoy it because in a few months you'll be complaining it's too cold, I can't do anything. You know what I mean? So I feel like you can't make these people happy.
Yeah, the answer for me to like beating the heat would not be to go for a run.
Well,
But I mean,
Brandon, some of us are trying to, train for a high rocks. So we run a few days a week. Like today, I did a workout at F45 this morning, and then I did a boxing workout after church. So I did workout F45, got cleaned up, went to church. After church, did boxing workout, came back, ate some food, prepped for the podcast, doing this podcast, and I'm going downtown and hanging out, having dinner. So
what is High Rocks?
High Rocks is it's like a workout competition, right? So it's not an obstacle course that you just go, you sign up and you boom, you done it. It's an actual competition. There are people who do this professionally. So there's the pros and then there's the open, right? The open group. I'm planning on competing in the open group. The only thing that would stop me from competing is I'm having some trouble with my knee. I injured it about 4.5 weeks ago, and it's not quite healed yet. And I don't know if I can complete my training in time to be ready for October when there's a high rocks competition in Dayton, which is what I'm trying to be ready for.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, and if I can find a partner, I feel like I can do it because they will give me a few seconds of rest here and there. You during the course of the competition, you are doing different events, and you run about, I would say, a little more than half a mile in between each event. So at the end of it, you ran over 4 miles, and you've competed in lots of different workouts.
Okay.
So something you would never do, Brandon.
No, yeah, and that's why I was not taking that as an invitation because you know better.
Yes, yes. I almost got Tristan. Almost
Yeah,
got Tristan. If it was
yeah.
just a different weekend, I could have got Tristan.
Possibly Nick. Maybe Nick will go with you. Mark.
Nah, nah. I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't know.
All
We'll
right.
see.
Well,
Anyways, people didn't come to listen to
yeah,
that.
we're boring.
People came to listen to stocks, investments, financial advice. We have that. I do want to give a shout out to Mike, who's been a listener of ours for a couple of years now, at least, and has consistently reached out on Instagram and DM'd us every now and then over the past few years. So, Mike, thank you for being a listener for so long and continually to reach out and ask questions whenever needed. We appreciate it. We do get a number of listeners, and we appreciate each and every single one of them. Anytime we could call one out, we'll be happy to. But Mike's been a long time listener
Yeah,
of our show, so
it
thank
is
you,
a
Mike.
number of listeners. It's like
Yes.
three. This
And
number.
they're all family except for Mike. There you go. All right. So, rules. Brandon and I get together 5 to 10 minutes before the show, and we tell each other what we're going to talk about. You hear the live back and forth, the bicker and the banter right here on the show for you. As always, Brandon, lead us off.
You know, Berkshire Hathaway made some waves this week with the announcing of about $1.6 billion going into United Health. Now, this is a company that I've been personally looking at. It's been on my watch list, and I've been thinking about buying it. I just didn't put like too much of a I didn't really like prioritize it that much. But then once Buffett jumped in and the stock shot up 12%, I started looking at it and researching, okay, what's the reasons for Warren Buffett buying? And yeah, it jumped up 12%, but if you're a long-term investor, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. If it jumps up 12%, it could still be a good value, right? And I think this is at this point in time. I'll describe why. Let me talk about United Health real quick.
Okay, are you going to talk about the problems they've had,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
bad publicity,
Tailwinds, headwinds,
the
all
fact
that.
that companies are afraid to do business with them, and that when contracts come up, they may lose those contracts?
Well, stock prices don't go down because things are going great. So
That's
you
true.
got to wait
That's
for good
true.
value. You got to wait for. I mean, this is like the new Coke thing we always talk about with Warren Buffett from the '80s when he invested in Coca-Cola. Um, United Healthcare. What this is a vertically integrated company. It's got two main divisions. United Healthcare is the insurance arm. So that's the payer for the insurance. Optum is the other branch of this, and that's the technology aspect of it. There's three different segments here. There's Optum Health, Optum Insight, Optum RX. Optum Health is obviously the care delivery. That's the artificial intelligence and technology that's focused on value-based care for customers. Insight is like the data and tech services for the healthcare industry. That's where this company failed last year, and this is kind of had the problems that led into what's going on right now. And then the Optum RX is the pharmacy benefit manager. So in quarter two, 2025, they had a profitability plunge. The operating earnings dropped from $4.0 billion to $2.1 billion. So cut in half operating earnings. And this was a pricing miscalculation that had
That was
happened.
for all of last year, or what?
No, quarter two. So
Quarter
year
two.
over year, we're looking quarter two operating earnings being cut in half. Revenue was fine. But yeah, the operating earnings there got cut in half. The reason why is the pricing for the 2025 Medicare Advantage plans was based on the assumption that there would be a 5% increase in medical cost trends. There was a 7.5% increase. So, I mean, that sounds like, it's not that big of a deal, but really you're looking at like what, about like a 25% increase compared to what they were thinking. So
And
this year,
yeah, and if you look at the profit margin, see that's exactly where I would go next is profit margin, operating, income, and like see how close, how thin of a line are they thread in there. It would be
right?
my next move. Like after I saw that news.
Yes. So what they're doing is they're looking at 2026 and they're saying, okay, because they price everything a year in advance.
Yeah.
So their error in estimation of the increase of inflation of medical costs is what's causing this decrease in operating earnings for this year so far. Plus, you also had the change healthcare hack that happened last year, affected 199 million people, I think it was, somewhere around there. Lots of lawsuits that are going into that. That's all one-time stuff as well. So,
Is it?
yeah, you got the DOJ looking at it. You got, but I think the worst of the worst has been priced in here. I mean, even with all this happening, this is still a cash generating machine. Still generated $30 billion in operating, 30 billion in free cash flow for the year.
What about the bad publicity um that has come out with United Healthcare?
That's going to be a challenge. That's going to be one of your headwinds here. So they're going to have to rebuild trust with a lot of suppliers and vendors. And hope
Have they even come out and talked about the cosmetic surgeon that recorded a conversation between her? Actually was a surgeon. I forget. She wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't. She was a cosmetic surgeon, but she was doing some surgery, and she called United Healthcare, and she was supposedly talking to a peer at United Healthcare, and she was recording this because United Healthcare called at the last minute saying that we're not going to cover the surgery that the patient needed, and she couldn't get a straight answer at United Healthcare. And the people that she kept talking to, nobody would give them their name, nobody would give them any information whatsoever. They were denying everything, and they would say, "Well, we're just not going to cover it," but they wouldn't tell why. They wouldn't talk to it, and she kept trying to call different. This is a doctor calling the doctor's line, and United Healthcare just was not answering and would not give any name. And this has made the rounds on social media and among other videos of United Healthcare. Nobody giving names. Nobody saying, I don't want to give my name. I'm not going to give you my name. But then how are you going to deny everything and not give your name? It's very shady work going on at United Healthcare. And this is the stuff that it makes for a company to lose contracts when they come up for renewal.
sure, then they're going to go to where Cigna, and I'm sure they're not doing the exact same stuff.
Blue Cross, Cigna,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah,
Kaiser.
they do the same stuff.
Yeah,
It,
they do,
it,
but
it is
they're not all over
whatever
social
they want.
media. But they're not
I
all over social media. And
I bet you I could
United
find some stuff
Healthcare
on
is.
Cigna on social media too.
I haven't
It's
seen it.
all, yeah, and
I haven't seen
Kaiser
it.
and Kaiser. Well, you haven't looked.
My
I'm sure it's
algorithm is
there.
set up to find it now, and I don't see it. So
I'm sure it's there.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen
Look,
United Healthcare.
look, they're still the largest insurer in the United States. They're still the largest by far over
Yes.
anybody. And we still have a demographic situation in the United States that is not changing, with people getting older and older and older, and the healthcare market's going to get larger, larger, and larger. And I
And
think over
Medicare is
time,
going through changes with the current administration.
yes, it is, which it'll change back once we have another administration, and then it'll change to something else in a different administration. Those are always going to be headwinds and tailwinds,
That's
depending
true.
on the
Yes.
era.
I'll concede that. That's true.
Yeah. So yeah, that was okay. So it was 192 million people that attack the hack affected there. $2.9 billion in costs. And this was a attack on a company called Change, which is a subsidiary of Optimum, which was just recently purchased by United Healthcare. $2.9 billion so far is what's estimated that this is going to cost the company. So that's going to come off, the top line.
Be a write down next quarter.
Right, it will be, and that's pocket change for them. It is. Sad to say, but it really is. Um,
Which
the
is why we
DOJ,
need more Medicare reform.
I agree.
I don't want to get political, but I
No, I
mean,
know. I
seriously.
agree. I agree. We shouldn't just be handing out money. It's ridiculous.
We
100%.
need we need to take care of our elderly at the same time. There's a balance to be made here.
Right, right. The DOJ launched an antitrust investigation into the company's integrated business model, the Optimum and the United Health. Um, just saying that, this could be monopoly, a monopolized practice, but it's very general. And every company that's big goes through this. So I'm not putting too much attention to it, really, to be honest with you, at this point in time. Um, they are well positioned to adjust pricing and leverage to its size to navigate headwinds. They failed at that last year. They're paying for it this year. They got another boomerang CEO who's coming back to lead the operations. Apparently, he's got Warren Buffett's trust. So, kind of another key finding that I had here, they're not structurally less efficient than their peers. The profitability issue seems to be that timing lag that they're planning to clear up and address. I think the current valuation is based on a temporary distortion. So even after the price increase that 12% that happened. So after Warren Buffett came out and Berkshire said, we purchased $1.6 billion in stock here, the stock shot up 12%. Even after that price increase, they're still trading at a valuation that is below its historical average. For example, it was trading at a price to earnings ratio of about 15.8, but that is still below its 5-year average PE of 19. Another metric that we could look at here, days claims payable. That's a measure of how quickly insurers pay the claims. That declined, actually, that went down by about a day. So it went from 45.5 days to 44.5 days in quarter one. That's positive. It indicates the company is not delaying payments to conserve cash. From a solvency perspective, the total debt to total capital ratio is 44.08%. Debt to equity ratio is 27.56%. Both of those ratios are in line with the peers and with the industry, and both indicate a healthy level of leverage. They're still generating, like I said, $30 billion in annual operating cash flow. That's providing significant liquidity here to buffer any issues that I think that could still be coming out of these lawsuits. I think it's a buy. And I think Warren Buffett is correct. I think that if you're a swing trader on this, because it went up 12%, you don't touch it as a swing trader. If you're looking to sell 3 to 6 months, I would wait for a pullback on this. But if you're looking to hold 5, 6 years, maybe even more, there's no reason to walk away from the stock because of a 12% gain. Because I think you got about a 55% upside over the long haul.
So, A, I would like to see more competition in health insurance field.
Sure.
Having said that, B, yes, United Healthcare will rise back up to the levels it was at before, around 650, 640 a share. However, see how long will it take? I don't know.
Hmm.
Am I going to invest in them? No. I'm looking at other areas. Metsera, I might put more money in Metsera. I'm currently invested in Bullish, which I'll get to later on in the show. Um, but I mean, I don't know. To me, I'm concerned with how they're handling all these high profile social media type uh concerns that have been out there. I think they mishandled the CEO event that happened earlier this year, and
Yeah,
they
you're
didn't.
talking about, I think that was December. Was it December? Let me
Was it
look.
December? It may have been December. I think they mishandled that. They didn't have enough communication and clarity throughout that process.
Yeah.
And
December 2024, Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, shot and killed in Midtown Manhattan.
yeah. So I mean, there's room for improvement now. If Buffett is bullish on this new CEO, that's a good thing. I mean, I mean, it takes a lot to get Warren Buffett to agree with you and say, hey, this guy's a good
Yeah.
guy. So
And he knows a lot about insurance. That's
yeah.
that's their thing. So
So I mean, yeah, I would agree with you, but I'm not investing myself. How about that?
gotcha. Okay.
I figure they need a better PR team. They need to hire Apple's PR team. Apple
Yeah.
is still the bread and butter of PR teams. It's the best PR team out there because Apple makes a subpar product, but everybody thinks it's the best.
Yeah, the PR's been pretty lagging lately.
Still,
I gotta put
people. I mean, they've lost market share. Samsung's picked up market share, but it's still not nothing that really would make force Apple to actually put out a good product. So
sure. So here's the key headwinds here. So they're looking for about 10% increase now for next year. So if healthcare inflation exceeds that, that's a headwind. That
what
would be
are they making any comments if the current administration goes through with this prescription drug plan?
no, I didn't look at that
Have they
yet.
made any
I
no
haven't. I
comments
mean, they
about
might
that?
have. They might have, but I didn't look for that.
So no comments about that. No comments about like if the Doge cuts that were recommended actually become law.
No, not
Because
that I saw. That doesn't
Republicans
mean that they
can
haven't
still,
made. That doesn't mean
yeah,
that they haven't made the comments yet.
yeah, because Republicans still control the House and the Senate. So if they put that in the bill and try to pass it, they can pass it. And if they've made no, if they're not concerned, that tells me they have some good lobbyists at work.
Sure.
That's what I take into that, which is sad.
So here's the headwinds that I have here. So medical care cost inflation, if it's higher than they expect, that could be a problem, obviously. Elevated regulatory legal risk from all of the lawsuits that are coming their way. The reputational debt damage and trust deficit that you were just talking about. They got to rebuild trust with healthcare providers and regulators because that is at an all-time low right now. They get the recent leadership transition, the departure of CEO Andrew Whitty, the return of Stephen Helmsley's complete. That's created a temporary period of uncertainty, but I actually think that this is a good thing for a company that was getting beat over the head left and right with just about everything that you can think of.
Yep.
Having a change is a good thing at this point in time. Tailwinds, demographic trends that are not going to stop. Aging of the U.S. population. Um, that resilient cash flow and shareholder returns. I mean, despite the current operational pressures, the company is just generating cash left and right, $30 billion in annual operating cash flow. They consistently commit to delivering shareholder returns, constantly buying back stocks. The dividend yield's only 3.8%. But I kind of looked at the last 15 years. They've increased it for 15 consecutive years. So even though it's kind of a small 3.38%, it's still increasing year over year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not going down. That's a good thing. Strategic pricing adjustments that they're going through right now, that's going to be a tailwind for the future. And just the valuation right now. Look, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and these guys were all dumping this, and Warren Buffett's picking it up. That's classic Buffett.
Finding the value when others see trash.
Right.
Kind of like how you and I became friends.
One
Take out
one
whatever
thing,
you want.
one other thing to look out here too. There's something called the medical loss ratio. And this comes as a result of the underpriced plans that they had that were relative to the medical cost increase. The
What is
um,
it again? I've never heard this medical cost
it's
ratio.
called the medical loss ratio. Theirs was 89.4%, which was the highest in the industry.
Is that write-offs from like, patients coming to ER and never paying or something?
Right. I don't think that's as high as 89% for that. I would have to look more into how they're calculating it, really. Now that you say that, there's no way 89% of people are
Yeah,
paying.
that's why I'm like, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
What's this number? What derives it? Where's it derived from? What's I
Look
want
at
to I have so many questions now.
Cigna's at 82.2% and Elevance Health is at 86.4%. So both high, but still UNH is the highest right now.
What,
Um,
what was this ratio? Say it one more time because I'm gonna look it up while you're
it is
talking.
called the medical loss ratio,
Okay,
MLR.
go ahead. Continue.
So it is the highest right now. They say that's going to be temporary. As soon as their pricing adjustments go into effect next year, we're going to see that even out.
All right, here you go. You ready? This is from
Yeah.
AI. This is from Gemini. A medical loss ratio is the percentage of premium dollars that a health insurer spends on medical care and quality
Yes.
improvement as opposed to administrative costs, marketing, and profits. It's a measure of how much of your premium money actually goes towards your health care.
Okay.
So 89% of the premiums are going towards healthcare.
Right. I mean, that actually sounds like a good thing,
But it's not
but
if you're running a business.
right, it's not if you're running a business. Exactly. So they want to see that go down.
I'm torn.
I know. I see that in your face. So am I.
I'm so torn right
But
now.
but I guess you could also see it as a measure of efficiency, right? So if you can keep that low, but then also like do better at the
Still
same time.
provide the quality service, then yes.
Right. Right. Yeah, so that's what I have on United Healthcare. I do think this is a buy. There, it's not without its risks, but you're buying a company that is the largest health insurer in the country that's still got a good moat around it as far as cash flow goes and as far as name brand goes, even with all the loss of trust and all of that stuff. I think it's a buy.
I mean, I think it's a buy too, but I'm not buying it.
Okay. Now, hardly transitioning here into yeah, so you actually said who cares, Amazon's already in the grocery business, they're already everywhere, right?
Yeah,
So
Amazon already does groceries. They already do like grocery basically on demand, same day, same hour if you want groceries. If you're in the right area, right part of town, you could do it the same hour.
yes, so I said the same thing when I initially saw the news, but then I read into it. So over the past week they rolled out what they termed the most significant grocery expansion in history. Well, they said their history, I think it's history altogether.
Did Donald Trump write this?
You would think so. But no, this is actually true. So they're introducing same day delivery of fresh groceries to over 1,000 cities and towns across the United States, which I did not know that there were 1,000 cities and towns across the United States that didn't have this already.
Right? Seriously. I
Right.
mean, we got it right. I mean, right here in Westchester there's a actual warehouse right down right maybe what 3 miles from my house.
Right. So by the end of 2025, there'll be 2,300 more cities and towns by the end of this year. And
Are
there's
they
a broader
building these
goal
cities and towns?
of another 4,000 rural communities by the end of 2026.
Is it the rural communities, communities that they're building their data centers in? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, and it could be, but here's the thing: a lot of people sold Kroger over this, which I would not have done.
Kroger's here. They're
Yeah,
not leaving.
they're not. And listen, I've got the Kroger delivery service. We're members of that. You get $1 off gas for I think it's every $100 that you spend on groceries.
There you go.
Yeah, so I mean that's not going to get touched. But what I would have been looking at and getting a little bit more nervous about would have been your DoorDashes, your Instacarts. Um,
Instacart, yes.
Look, if they're going into 4,000 more rural communities by the end of 2026, your Dollar Trees, your Family Dollars, all of those companies that make all of their money almost off those rural communities, that's a problem for them.
No, because they're going to specialize in delivery. I mean, you're not going to order delivery if you're in a rural community. You're going to go out, you're going to get to the store.
So here's my advantage of experience in this regard, right?
All right, go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
the
Because just keep in mind, before you say anything, my sister owns a farm in the middle of rural Iowa. And I've
Okay.
talked about this with you, a big, huge farm. And
Yeah.
I've been to their farm. I've seen the community. I've hung out with their neighbors. Go ahead. Continue.
So yeah, and I've got family like out in London, Kentucky, and then northern Tennessee that live 45 minutes away from any place that they have to go shopping. And it's a big deal every time they have to do it every week. It is a day of events. It's a whole planned out thing because it's so far away. And oftentimes, like my family, when you live up in the mountains, that's not a trip that you really want to make.
That's true.
So, I mean, if
Now,
you get this delivery, you know,
here's what I'll say to that. You live 45 minutes away from a grocery store, right?
yeah.
I hear this a lot out here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Oh, that's 45 minutes away, or that's an hour away. And I look at people like that and I'm like, you guys would never last in Southern California. I lived there for a number of years. Everything is 45 minutes away. And there's not a single thing I can do in San Diego that wasn't 45 or more minutes away. And guess what? We did it every single day.
In San
In
Diego,
San Diego,
you
we
would
did it
think if
every
you were
single
in San
day.
Diego, there'd be a lot closer. There'd be more things around you,
Everything's
especially.
closer, compact, it's traffic. And we
Yeah.
did it every single day. You go out, you do your events. You don't make it a whole day thing. It's the way you look at life and living is different in certain parts of the country than others.
Do you
And
take a
I've
subway?
noticed that.
Do you
And
take
I've
a
noticed
subway?
that. Huh?
Do you take a subway
There's no subway. There's a trolley, but
in
there's no
San
subway.
Diego?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember living out there. Like, I mean, I would drive up to like, Redondo Beach or Riverside or other parts of LA all the time and go hang out with a buddy. It's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive up, and then hour and a half, 2 hour drive down, and then get up and go to work. I mean, I was younger, and get up and go to work the next day, and that's what you did.
So if you're curious though about the price of the same day delivery, it's free for Prime members. Free for Prime members, fresh groceries, you know, 12.99 for non-Prime members is a flat fee of 12.99. It's free if it's over $25, which almost all your groceries now are going to be over $25. Smaller orders would be $2.99.
Gotcha.
And that's a big deal. Like they're
Yeah, it's a
getting
big
high
deal.
margin. So they're getting high margin off a lot of advertising and things like that. And what they're doing is they're taking that advertising revenue and that profit, they're pouring it kind of into this low margin grocery business. But and that was kind of my other thing too. Like this is low margin, but what experts say, the grocery market is valued at about 1.5 to 1.6 trillion dollars. So the
Gotcha.
online portion of that is expected to grow significantly, reaching an estimated 30 or $327.72 billion by 2030. So far, Amazon's share of that is 100 billion.
All right. Yeah,
So
Amazon's a buy. I think this is a great move for them. They're going to continue to grow in the grocery area. They're planning to take this over. They're moving into healthcare as the next big moves. Next, the data centers are going to help and assist with this. AI is going to help and assist with this. Amazon is definitely going to be the umbrella corporation that we saw in video games. So Amazon, yes, yeah, it's a buy. I mean, I have owned it before. I wish I still owned it, but I don't. I would buy it.
yeah, I got it. I have a smaller position than I would like. Kind of waiting on a pullback to buy
Fair
more, but
enough.
I would buy it now if you don't own
I,
it.
I still feel like you guys are weak in this part of the country because even when I lived in Europe, you walk 30, 40 minutes to places and walk 30, 40 minutes
So,
back. I think you're babied in this part of the country in
so
Cincinnati, Ohio.
with my where my great grandma used to live which was on a mountain, you had to drive once you got like towards this mountain that she lived
Does
up.
she own the mountain? Because that would be really cool.
It had 500 acres on it.
Fair enough.
This was a huge place. Like it's a very large mountain with mountains on the mountain. It's wild. You have to drive 45 minutes up this road, going in circles over the mountain as you go up. No railings on the road. And it's about the
Nice.
size of your car.
And in winter, I bet you it's fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the entire time you're driving up, you're just looking over the cliff, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. All right. Let's go talk about some events that happened. Let's do this, shall we?
Sure.
All right, first I want to talk about Bullish. I posted on TikTok and Instagram about Bullish for us under the chinchilla pick-in. If you were on TikTok or Instagram, you saw that. I bought Bullish. I own Bullish. I am currently down. So Bullish, if you're unfamiliar what this company is, Bullish IPO'd last week and is a crypto exchange similar to Coinbase. It's the second crypto exchange to go ahead and public file and be able to be bought and sold on the stock market. I'm very confident in it. I am not the only one. ARK ETF founder Kathy Wood invested 2.5 million shares. They bought 2.5 million shares, Brandon. They also believe in it, and they bought it after it IPO'd. So they bought it at that price. So they believe in it that much. I know I believe in it that it's going to go above 100. So I bought some. I'm holding it. I'm going to buy some more and lower my cost average come Monday morning, unless it shoots up and I end up making my money. But I think I'm going to be able to dollar cost average down. So I believe this is going to go up. Anything with these crypto related right now in regards to like Bitcoin pricing or any other of these cryptos. Cryptos are currently, Bitcoin is currently, I'll speak up Bitcoin specifically. Bitcoin is currently, I don't see a ceiling on it anytime soon. It's going to continue to go higher. And I've explained this so many times. I'm getting tired of saying the same thing, but I'll explain it one more time here on the show. Everybody has brought up, well, what if all the banks buy up all this and the governments buy all this up? I'm like, well, here's my response: is if everybody buys them all up, eventually you're going to always have a demand for someone to buy it. They're going to reach a point in value to where Germany or Goldman Sachs or somebody else is willing to sell it at that point. So
Mhm.
the price will always go up in a high demand situation, which is what we're in right now, and which is what we're going to continue to be in for the next few years. Because of that, and because of crypto exchanges like Coinbase and Bullish take a percentage of the transactions. As the value of these cryptos go up and the people who own them start selling them and more transactions are being done, the revenue continues to go up. Given that Peter Thiel is behind Bullish, he is very smart at finding other ways to make money off of things other than just the classic make money off the transactions. So I believe in this company because Peter Thiel is one of the co-founders of PayPal, the PayPal Mafia, as they called them back in the day, Brandon. If you're a retail trader or you're an investment of any sort, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, please Google PayPal Mafia and look him up. It's a very interesting story, but he is one of those members, and man, they do tremendous things. So I believe in the
Wasn't
company. I believe in him.
wasn't Elon in that?
Yes, Elon was in it too. There was a lot of people in it, which is why I tell people just to Google it. You'll look at all the members and everything, all the companies that have been created from these group of individuals that started PayPal.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that
Right.
all these companies have come out of that small group of people.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is. It
Was
is.
Cuban in that? Mark Cuban? I know he was a
I
dot-com guy.
yeah, I gotta Google that. I mean, I mean, you can Google it, Brandon, as I'm
Yeah, that's
talking
true.
right here.
I guess I could look into it.
Yes, and you can see for yourself. Use AI. You can use AI, and I'm stalling now because my laptop is frozen, and I can't pull up my articles I wanted to pull up here. I do know one of them off by heart here, and I'm going to talk about it while I'm going because it's related to the Bullish. So you had the Winklevoss. They claim the fame was they started Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg. There was a whole movie made about it. They didn't get their fair cut of the deal. They've been big into crypto ever since. The Winklevosses are coming out with their own. They've had their own trade in exchange for crypto called Gemini for a while now. Has not made a profit yet, but they are IPOing. And I think they're IPOing a little too early, if you will. They need to really mature their company a little bit more, but they're IPOing here soon. I will not be buying Gemini. I bought
Okay.
Bullish. I like Bullish. I like Peter Thiel. I'm not sold on the Winklevosses and Gemini.
So the PayPal Mafia, not
Yes.
Mark Cuban, but
Okay.
Peter Thiel, who co-founded PayPal, obviously, Palantir and founders,
Yep.
Elon Musk, obvious about all of his companies, Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn, Max Levchin, co-founder of CTO of PayPal and also founded Slide and Affirm. David Sachs, COO of PayPal, also went on to fund Geni.com, Geni.com, and Affirm. David Sachs, I just said him. Did I just say David Sachs?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Okay, Jenny and Yammer is what he went on to co-found. I misspoke. Jenny.com and Yammer. Uh, Jawed Karim, Steve Chin, and Chad Hurley, co-founders of YouTube. Jeremy Stapleton and Russell Simmons, co-founders of Yelp.
See, I mean, all these major companies have come out of that group of individuals that,
That's why
founded Pay.
that is
It
crazy.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It is crazy. And they all work together at one company at one point in time. So you never know. Yeah. All right, moving on. Big news coming up this week. You have the Jackson Hole Summit. The reason why this is big is because there's a little thing called the Fed. The Fed will be there, Brandon. I know you love talking about the Fed. They're having their summit at Jackson Hole, and they're going to talk about possible rate cuts. I know the FOMC has already done rate cuts, and they're going to be doing more rate cuts, but that has nothing to do with the United States. And a lot of
Mhm.
our listeners want to know what's going on with the United
You know,
States, right?
yeah, I'm not really sure that rate cuts are gonna. I want rate cut. I think they should cut the rates, the interest rates. But if you're looking to buy a home, it's not going to help that much, I don't think. Because really, what the home values and the interest rates for mortgages are tied to are the 10-year treasury. And here's
Yeah.
the thing about this, right? So everybody says, oh, you cut interest rates, bonds are going to go higher or lower. I mean, they'll go lower. And then the stock market will take off. But the reason why people have that like in their minds is because they often associate rate cuts with recessions. And we're trying to battle out of a recession. The stock market's at all-time lows. And so what happens is people who are buying bonds constantly, they switch out of bonds and they go into stocks because it signals a bottom, right? But right
Yeah.
now, we're not in a recession. The stock market isn't down. So I don't know that it's actually going to have the desired effect that a lot of people are hoping for
Well,
because
let's. Can I bring up some data? Can I
I
bring up
don't
some
see
data?
people dumping bonds to go into stocks at this point in time when stocks are at a high valuation already.
Bonds have been
Higher.
dumped. Have you been paying attention the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, but I mean, but I don't think it's going to happen anymore.
Bonds have been dumped. It's almost time to bring back Brandon on the show from the first episode.
We're still looking about 4% on, a lot of these treasuries. And the thing is
No.
if you go back and look at interest rate cuts that happened outside of a recession, it's almost exactly 50-50 as to what happens to bonds.
Well, can I bring up some data?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. Let's look at the data and have it tell us what's going on. Um, so the consumer price index and the wholesale price index, two separate data fields came up with two separate conclusions last week. It was the wholesale went up in cost, but consumer
Mhm.
price stayed the same. And so that was kind of a mixed signal, if you will, going for the Fed to look off of, right?
Right.
They also saw that consumers are still resilient, buying at higher levels, and the job market is not dead, which is what some people were saying. So, given that you have these, you would think that the Fed probably will not do another cut. But a number of people have come on recently on different shows and have there's definitely a dissent and a disagreement among the Federal Reserve in the group, which is good. You want a healthy discussion among group. You don't want a group that all, you know, votes the exact same way when it comes to interest rates and how to handle monetary policy. So, but there's a very clear divisive undertone going into the Jackson Hole summit, right? That's what we're all looking at. That's what everybody has to understand is, you know, is this a Goldilocks economy that can't go wrong? Then, do we raise rates or we keep it the same? Or are we on the part of stagflation and recession and we need to cut rates? That's what some people are putting out there, Brandon. I think that if I was the Fed, and I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, if I was the Fed, I would do nothing.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know. I see a lot of American businesses struggling with the tariffs. I think you gotta let some give some leniency here.
So you would
Make it
cut?
easier. I would cut, yeah.
All right.
Make
Now,
things a little bit easier. I think there's a lot of inflation that's going on because of supply chain issues, and it's not necessarily because of the amount of money that's in the economy.
yeah, and there's a lot of data that you and I, as average individuals, don't get to see that they get to see.
Right. But if the
Numbers. And
inflation is coming from M2 and the volume of money that's entering into the economy, then you got to increase rates or keep them the same and let things play out. But I don't think that's why inflation is still above 2% right now.
well, we're gonna see what happens. We got the Jackson Hole summit. We'll see what the Jerome Powell makes, what his comments are coming out of the summit, if what they're gonna do. I think if he announces a rate cut, you're gonna see the market move higher. If he announces it stays the same, I see nothing happening. It's gonna be based off the actual news of the day, macroeconomic environment. But if you and I don't see them raising rates, but let's just say they do. You'll see a sell off. So,
Right. Right.
all right,
Maybe in the medium term, you're talking about the bond market, right?
as far as
As far as the sell-off goes, if they cut rates.
no, if they raise rates, I said the last
If
one
they
was raise
raise
rates.
rates, yeah. If
Yeah,
they raise rates, you're gonna have, yeah. In
the
the
bond
stock
market's
market
your
itself,
cup
the
of tea,
stock
man.
market, there'll be a sell-off in the
Yeah,
stock market. Maybe not the bond.
the bonds is your business. You're the bear in the
Right.
bonds. I'm not.
Right. Right.
So, all right, the last thing I wanted to cover was the Trump Putin Alaska meeting, how it all went, and what does it have to do with investments? Like, why do we care as an investor? So oil. This is why we care. Currently, right now, after the meeting, Trump went out and said that he will hold off imposing tariffs on countries such as China for buying Russian oil. This was also important for India. We made a big deal about this 2 weeks ago on the show about how the current administration was going to punish India for buying Russian oil and asking them to not buy Russian oil. After this meeting, nobody is going to have any adverse reactions from the United States to buying Russian oil. So positive news as far as hopefully finding a peace deal. But as far as oil goes, it means oil is going to stay the same because Russia needs money in order to pay for their activities. So they are pumping out a lot of oil. So it's keeping the price of oil low. And with no new sanctions on countries that buy oil from Russia, that means Russia could continue pumping. It means the price of oil is going to stay low, which means you're still going to have downward pressure on oil companies. That is what I take out of what just happened, right?
Mhm.
Oil's going to stay right where it's at in the 60s until we get a finalized deal one way or another. Like we don't have a deal or we get a finalized deal. If we come out of this week's meeting with Zelensky with no deal and nobody's agreeing, then you might see sanctions put on countries like India and China for buying Russian oil. But if we're able to get a deal, then there's going to continue no sanctions, and the price of oil will stay pressured down.
Right.
That's my takeaway. Brandon, any thoughts, comments?
No, I think you got it.
All right, done. Perfect. Final thought, Brandon. Go ahead.
Hey, what do you think about the rumor of the U.S. government possibly taking a stake in Intel?
I'm against it.
Okay, me too.
We've done it
Me too.
before.
I just wanted to
Yeah, we've
ask
done it
about it.
before as a country. AIG was the last biggest company that the U.S. government took a stake in. AIG bought back that stake eventually and paid back the United States government. That was after a 2008 crisis. The United States government owned a part of that. I do not believe in government-owned businesses that are a part of the economy. I'm against it.
Now, AIG actually turned out pretty well,
It
but
did. The government made money off of that deal. So,
right.
the loan, the money got paid back with interest. So there you go.
Okay. I still don't like it either, by the way.
Nice.
I mean,
Final
that's
thought, Brandon.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I would just if you haven't bought Amazon, I think Amazon's a good buy, but better is UNH. If you followed me into Interseas, that was awesome so far. That's been really good. I think um the other one that what was I can never remember the name of this stock that I bought, Dave, and I look at it every day. Halo.
You must not look at it every day.
Well, I don't care about the everyday intraday market moves, but I find them interesting, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Halozyme Therapeutics, I'm up 10% on.
There you go.
You'd think I would I've read this every day. I can never remember the name of it because it's very confusing and long and big words.
I told you in our messages I thought it was a buy.
Yeah,
So
that's been a good one so far too.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, I sold Cooler. Cooler finally had a profitable quarter. Everybody, woo! Cooler profitable quarter, first profitable quarter as a publicly traded
But you're
company.
selling now?
And I sold. I sold on the
Okay.
news. I sold
Okay.
on the news. I liquidated my whole position in Cooler. I took my profits. I was profitable. I was happy. I got out. I'm done with Cooler. I'm not looking back. I made money. I'm gonna take that as a win and walk away. They did have their first profitable quarter. And Brandon, you know what it was due to?
What?
Bitcoin.
Okay.
I,
Uh,
I I know you're a big fan of Bitcoin treasuries as a plan for a company, but it did make
no,
Cooler a
no.
profitable quarter.
Like I want operational profitability. I don't. Yeah.
What about companies, Brandon, like Instacart, who don't have operational profitability, but they make a profit because of ads?
I mean, that is kind of operational profitability in a way, just for their own industry. It's different. It's that's a organic profitability, not based off of other investments and other entities.
Unless you're a bank, because then that's how you make money. Got it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, gotcha.
but I
Gotcha.
mean,
So
there's more to that too.
yeah.
It's not just
But
a direct
anyways,
investment
my
or
point
something
is
get
I'm out of
lucky.
Cooler. So if you followed me in Cooler all these years, I'm done. I'm
I
walking
don't blame you
away.
for selling, Dave.
I took my profit. I left. I'm holding Bullish. I am going to dollar cost average on Monday morning for Bullish. I believe in the company. I believe it will go above $100 a share. I've called when companies have IPO'd and they had a down first week and then they just surpassed all expectations and blew it away. And one example I'll give you is ARM. That was one that IPO'd. It went down right away. Everybody dogged it everywhere across social media, and then it jumped right back up and tripled in value. So I believe in Bullish. I'm holding Bullish. I've learned my lesson from times past. I have conviction in this company. I'm gonna watch it go above 100 and then sell. That's my price range, unless there's reason to hold longer. So,
Okay, cool.
all right. Well, as always, we hope that we have been entertaining, educational, and uplifting because we want everyone to make money. Have a good day.
Have a good night.